Welcome to the CableTV.com podcast, where we give you the lowdown on all things television, streaming, and internet. Thanks for stopping by.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to talk about, well, it's that piece of paper, or I guess mostly an email notification now, that sits in your inbox every single month.
Oh, yeah. Just sitting there mocking you.
Exactly, just mocking you. It's the utility bill, specifically your home connectivity bill, the one that keeps creeping up by $5 here and maybe $10 there.
It really has become this sort of invisible tax on modern life, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. And it's not just a basic utility anymore. I mean, in 2026, we aren't just trying to get a signal to check an email. We are navigating an absolute jungle.
Right. You've got fiber optics. You've got these 5G towers popping up on every neighborhood corner.
Satellites in low Earth orbit. And honestly, don't even get me started on the streaming landscape right now. I feel like I need a PhD just to figure out which app is showing the football game on Sunday.
It's funny you say that because the subscription fatigue out there is very real. We used to have one cable bill, you know. Now you're acting as your own IT department.
Oh, for sure.
And your own billing manager. You're juggling 5 or 6 different vendor relationships just to sit on your couch and watch TV or get online.
Exactly. So our mission today is pretty selfish, honestly. We want to stop overpaying.
I think everyone wants that.
Right. So we've got a massive data set from CableTV.com, freshly updated for February 2026, and we are going to cut through all the marketing fluff. We want to find the absolute best of the best for you.
Yeah, whether you're a competitive gamer who screams at the TV when there's lag,
Right.
or a rural dweller who's just tired of 1990s speeds.
Or just someone who wants to watch the nightly news without the screen buffering every 5 minutes.
Exactly. And looking at the data this year, the big theme is really fragmentation.
How so?
Well, for a long time, the goal was simply get the fastest internet, just raw speed. Now the market has completely split. You know, the old reliable hardwired connections fighting a massive price war against this new wave of wireless tech.
And on the content side, specifically with sports, which we'll definitely get into, the traditional bundle has just completely exploded.
Oh, totally. Shrapnel everywhere.
Okay, let's start with the pipe itself, the internet connection. Looking at the gold standard winner here, it feels like we've hit a point of diminishing returns. Google Fiber is taking the top spot again for the best of the best.
They are. They secured the top award for 2026, and the specs they're offering are honestly startling.
The headline number is 8,000 Mbps, 8 gigs. Now, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second. Does a normal human being living in a normal house with a normal family actually need 8 gigs of speed?
No. Short answer, no.
I feel like I could download the entire Library of Congress in the time it takes to sneeze.
You're absolutely right to be skeptical. If you're just one person and you're streaming Netflix in 4K, you need maybe 50 millips. So 8,000 is massive, massive overkill for a single task. But we have to think about the why behind that speed.
Let's explain that.
It's not about how fast a single car can drive down the highway. It's about how many lanes that highway has.
So it's about capacity, not just raw velocity.
Precisely. Think about the modern smart home in 2026. You might have 2 parents working from home on separate 4K video calls.
Right.
You've got a teenager gaming in the other room. A TV is streaming a movie in the living room. Your security cameras are actively uploading HD footage to the cloud. And your smart fridge is downloading a software update, all at the exact same time.
That is a traffic jam just waiting to happen.
Right, and that's what 8 gigs gives you. It's bandwidth headroom.
Yeah.
You effectively remove the bottleneck entirely. But honestly, the speed isn't even the main reason they won the top spot.
Oh, really?
It's the billing. Google Fiber has maintained the exact same price for their 1 gig plan since 2021.
Wow, since 2021.
Yeah. In an economy where the price of eggs and milk seems to change every other week, that stability is a massive psychological win for consumers. They don't play that introductory rate game.
Oh, the one where the price mysteriously doubles in year 2.
Exactly. But here is the massive rub with Google Fiber. It's a unicorn.
Right. Most people I know simply can't get it. It's like hearing about a world-class restaurant that's only open in a different country.
That is the catch. They're only in about 40 cities right now. It's slowly expanding, but for the vast majority of the country, it's just not an option you can buy.
So for the rest of us, the people who don't live in those 40 cities, or maybe who just refuse to pay a premium, the report highlights T-Mobile 5G home internet as the bang-for-your-buck winner.
Yes, this is the true disruptor right now, and it's really targeting the people who are fed up with the cable company.
The cord cutters.
Right. It's priced between $35 and $70 a month, and that's usually flat rate with bundle discounts, no contracts. You literally get a box in the mail, plug it into the wall, and it grabs a signal from a cell tower.
I love the concept of cutting the bloat. Not having a guy come track mud into my house to drill holes in my wall. But as a skeptic, whenever I see the word wireless attached to home internet, I worry about consistency.
As you should.
If it's raining or if everyone in my neighborhood comes home at 5 p.m. and starts streaming, does my internet just tank?
You are asking the exact right question. That is the fundamental trade-off of 5G home internet. You are trading guaranteed, hardwired stability for value and convenience.
Because the speeds listed here are a pretty wide range.
Yeah, they list 170 to 498 millitrees. That is a massive variance.
That's the difference between lightning fast and, well, okay, I guess.
Because it's cellular, it is entirely subject to congestion. Think of it like trying to use your cell phone at a crowded concert.
Oh, nothing loads.
Right. If you're near a tower and the network is empty, it flies. If it's peak hours, say 7 p.m. on a weeknight, and your neighbors are all online, you will definitely feel it. It's fantastic for general browsing and streaming usually. But if you need heavy-duty consistency, like for day trading or hosting a server, fiber still wins every time.
So T-Mobile is the budget play for the flexible user. Google is the luxury play. What about the old guard? The cable giants we all love to complain about. Xfinity is still a massive player. Are they doing anything differently?
They've actually pivoted hard. Xfinity won Best for Cable in 2026. They offer speeds up to 2,000 millipedes, which is plenty for almost anyone. But the fascinating thing here is how they're addressing their biggest historical complaint.
Which is the price creep.
Yes, the price creep.
The dreaded year 2 surprise. You sign up for $50 and suddenly it's $110.
Exactly. Xfinity is now offering a 5-year price guarantee on certain plans.
5 years? That's unheard of for a cable company.
It really signals that the cable companies realize they are bleeding customers to T-Mobile and Verizon 5G. They can't just rely on being the only game in town anymore. They have to compete on price stability now, too.
That's a huge shift in their strategy. Now, before we move off the technical specs completely, I have to ask you about the gamers. Because my nephew constantly complains about lag. He says raw speed doesn't matter if the ping is high. Can you explain that distinction?
Sure. Think of an internet connection like a water pipe. Bandwidth is how wide the pipe is, how much water can flow at once. Latency, or ping, is how fast that water travels from the source to your tap.
Okay, so a wide pipe doesn't help if the water takes 10 seconds to get to you.
Exactly. If you're a gamer, you don't care about downloading a massive file fast in the background. You care about the exact millisecond it takes for your button press to register on the game server.
Because if it takes too long,
your character is dead before you even see the enemy on your screen. That's latency.
So who wins the latency war in this report?
Verizon Fios. The data shows their average latency is just 10.7 milliseconds.
Put that in context for me. Is that good?
Anything under 20 is excellent.
Oh.
Under 10 is basically instantaneous. If you're playing a competitive shooter game, or honestly, even if you're just on a high-stakes video call and you don't want that awkward delay where you talk over people, Fios is the gold standard.
Okay, let's leave the suburbs and the cities for a minute. I want to talk to the listeners out in the sticks, the people in rural areas, or maybe someone who finally bought that cabin in the woods. We used to think of satellite internet as the absolute last resort. Expensive, slow, and frustrating.
It has changed a lot, but it's really becoming a tale of two entirely different technologies. On one side, you have the traditional geostationary satellites. Viasat won Best Overall Satellite in this specific category.
And by traditional, you mean the big satellites way out in deep space.
Right. They're geostationary, which means they are parked 22,000 miles above the equator. Viasat has managed to get their speeds up to 150 millitps, which is respectable. You can stream with that. But you cannot cheat physics.
Right. The signal has to physically travel 22,000 miles up into space and then 22,000 miles back down to Earth.
Exactly. That round trip takes time, usually about a half second or more. That creates high latency. You cannot game on it. Zoom calls will have that annoying delay where you say hello and 3 seconds later the other person finally hears it. Plus, they throttle your data if you use too much.
So who is the alternative to that?
Starlink, the disruptor.
I feel like you just can't talk about rural internet without mentioning Starlink these days.
You really can't. They rank #1 in customer satisfaction for satellite internet. The difference is their satellites are in low Earth orbit. They're only about 340 miles up.
So the signal trip is drastically shorter.
It's night and day. The latency is almost comparable to ground-based internet. You can game on it. You can video chat smoothly. It feels like a real modern connection.
That sounds like a clear winner. Why would anyone choose Viasat over Starlink then?
The sticker shock. Starlink requires you to buy the hardware up front. That's $349 plus shipping and tax before you even get online. And the monthly cost runs anywhere from $50 to $165 depending on exactly where you live. It's a real investment.
Ouch. Yeah, $350 just to get your foot in the door is tough.
Right. And if you're on a strict budget or you just need internet for absolute emergencies like checking email once a week at a vacation cabin, there is HughesNet. It starts cheap, around $39.99. But be warned, the throttling is severe once you hit your cap.
Define severe for me.
Once you get your data cap, your speed drops to 1 to 3 MEPs.
1 MEPs. That's barely enough to load a text-only email in 2026.
It is essentially a 1990s dial-up connection at that point. So rural users really have to weigh their budget against their actual need for speed.
Okay, let's pivot from how we connect to the really messy part, what we are actually watching. The TV evolution. We've been hearing about cord cutting for over a decade now, but looking at the 2026 landscape, cable isn't dead, it's just sort of zombie walking.
It is surprisingly resilient. For best traditional TV, we are back to Verizon Fios again.
They seem to be crushing it across the board in this data set.
They really are. For TV, it's about volume and trust. They offer between 60 and over 425 channels. But the real reason they win is, again, the lack of scheduled price hikes. Most cable providers hook you with a low rate, and then year 2 hits and your bill doubles. Fios just doesn't do that.
I want to mention a hidden gem from the report here, the Value King, which is Spectrum TV Stream. It's only $40 a month.
Yes, this is a fascinating package. It gives you over 85 channels, but the catch is there are no sports and no local channels.
Right. It's built for what they call the elder Zoomer, or really just the entertainment fan who already uses an HD antenna for local channels, but wants the familiar cable channels like HGTV or Food Network cheaply.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the cord nevers, the people who don't want a cable box at all. They just want an app on their smart TV, but they still want live television. YouTube TV seems to be the default answer here.
Yeah, it's the best live TV streaming choice. It's $82.99 a month, which frankly is not cheap anymore.
No, it isn't. It used to be the budget option. Now it's practically cable pricing.
So why do people stick with it if it's the same price?
The user experience. It completely replaces the clunky cable box with a slick interface. You get unlimited DVR. But the true killer feature for 2026 is multi-view.
Oh, seeing 4 screens at once. I absolutely love that feature.
It's brilliant. If you're a sports fan or a news junkie, being able to watch 4 games simultaneously on one screen without lag is a game changer. Cable boxes always struggle to do that. YouTube TV does it natively.
Also, briefly, the report mentions Apple TV as the best on-demand service.
All right, they went on pure quality.
Yeah, high bitrate streaming, no ads, and top-tier shows like Ted Lasso and Severance. It's quality over quantity. But speaking of sports, which YouTube TV is great for, this is where the headache really starts. I tried to watch a baseball game last week, and I swear I needed a degree in calculus to figure out which app it was on.
The sports streaming conundrum. I'm telling you, this is the single biggest pain point in the entire 2026 data.
It feels like the fragmentation is getting worse every year, not better.
It is. If you want the absolute best of the best for sports, no questions asked, it is DirecTV.
Still, even with the satellite dishes.
Still, they have the most comprehensive package by far, over 30 sports channels. But the crucial advantage is the regional sports networks, or RSNs. They are included in their choice package.
Break that down for the listener. Why do RSNs matter so much?
Okay, let's say you live in Boston and you want to watch the Red Sox. Or you're in Dallas and you want to watch the Mavericks play on a random Tuesday. Those games aren't usually on ESPN or TNT. They are on a local channel, an RSN. Most streaming services like YouTube TV or Hulu dropped those channels years ago because they were just too expensive to carry. DirecTV still has them.
So if I'm a diehard local fan, DirecTV is basically holding me hostage.
In a way, yes. And the ransom is very high. You're looking at $90 to nearly $170 a month just for the TV package.
$170 a month just to watch your local team.
That is the price of fandom in 2026.
And if I refuse to pay that, what are my options?
Then you enter the app jungle. You might get YouTube TV for the basics, which has NFL Sunday Ticket, by the way, but is missing MLB Network and NHL Network. So then you need Peacock for the Olympics, the Premier League, and Sunday Night Football. You need Amazon Prime for Thursday Night Football. You need Apple TV for Friday Night Baseball and the MLS Season Pass.
It's just nickel and diming you to death. And didn't I see something in the data about an ESPN Select app?
This is perhaps the most confusing part for consumers right now. ESPN Select, which used to be called ESPN Plus a few years ago, is $12.99 a month. It has the NHL, La Liga, Bundesliga. But, and this is a massive asterisk, it does not include the main ESPN channel feed.
Wait, so if I pay for the ESPN app, I do not get ESPN?
Correct. You don't get SportsCenter. You don't get the big Monday Night Football games on the main channel. You still need a traditional cable subscription or YouTube TV for that.
That is madness.
It's highly deceptive. We've moved from a single bundle to a fragmented mess where you are paying 5 different companies to watch one season of sports.
Which brings us perfectly to the final piece of the puzzle. With all this confusion managing 5 apps, 5 passwords, 5 separate bills, is the solution actually to go backward? Are bundles making a comeback?
Surprisingly, yes. The rebundling is happening right now. The data shows that for many people, especially seniors or just really busy families, the mental load of managing all these apps isn't worth saving $10 a month.
So what's the best set it and forget it option out there?
If you want the traditional experience, Spectrum wins Best Cable Bundle. It's about $125 a month. You get decent internet, 500 MLPs, and over 150 channels.
Is there a sweetener in there? Because $125 is still pretty steep.
A very big one. It includes free subscriptions to Disney+, HBO Max, and Paramount Plus Mie.
Wait, the streaming apps are baked directly into the cable bill?
Yes, and that is the huge trend for 2026. The cable company becomes the aggregator again.
Yeah.
You pay one bill, and they handle all the logins and subscriptions.
That actually sounds really convenient. You don't have to worry about your credit card expiring on 3 different websites and getting locked out.
Exactly. It's all about convenience. Now, what about the seniors who are a bit more tech-savvy?
Yeah.
Or the people who demand fiber internet but still want a TV guide interface?
A hybrid bundle.
Right. For them, the report highlights Frontier Fiber paired with YouTube TV. You get the rock-solid reliability of fiber internet, specifically Frontier Fiber 200, bundled with YouTube TV for about $102 a month for the first year.
That's barely over $100. That feels like a real sweet spot.
It is. It merges the stability of fiber with the flexibility of a streaming interface. It's great for seniors who are willing to learn the slightly new YouTube TV remote to save $20 or $30 a month compared to Spectrum.
And I noticed there was one more bundle mentioned for our rural listeners.
Yes, CenturyLink Internet paired with DISH network. It's around $147 a month. But the key here isn't the channel lineup. It's the service side of it. DISH offers a 55-plus plan that includes free technician visits.
That's actually huge. If you're out in the country, getting a tech to come out to your property can be a nightmare. They usually charge you an arm and a leg just for the drive time.
Exactly. That peace of mind is totally worth the price for many older customers. They know if the satellite goes out of alignment after a bad storm, someone will come fix it for free.
So we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've talked about the speed wars with Google Fiber, the physics of satellite internet with Starlink, the absolute nightmare of sports streaming rights, and the return of the bundle. If we had to synthesize all of this data for you listening right now, what is the main takeaway for 2026?
The main takeaway is that the era of one-size-fits-all is completely dead. You have to be highly intentional about what you buy.
No more default choices.
Right. If your priority is raw speed for a massive smart home, you go fiber Google or AT&T. If your priority is seeing every single inning of your local baseball team, you have to swallow the pill and get DirecTV. If you just want value, you look at T-Mobile 5G or the Spectrum TV stream.
It really is about knowing exactly what kind of user you are before you sign up.
Exactly. And I think there's a bigger philosophical question we need to ask ourselves as consumers. We spent 10 years destroying the cable bundle because we thought it was a ripoff. We demanded everything a la carte.
And we got it.
We did. But look at the result. We are rebuilding the bundle, but worse. Brick by brick, app by app. We have Peacock, Prime, Apple, Netflix, ESPN Select. If you add them all up, you're often paying more than the old cable bill.
And instead of one predictable bill, you have 7.
And you have to manage 7 passwords, 7 different user interfaces, and 7 renewal dates. That is what we call the cognitive tax.
The cognitive tax. That is a great term for it.
So the provocative thought I'd leave you with is this. Is unbundling actually costing us more mental energy than it saves in cash? And are we slowly just walking right back into the open arms of the cable companies because we're exhausted from being our own IT managers?
That is definitely something to chew on. Go check your bank statements today, count your subscriptions, and ask yourself if you're actually saving money or just creating a part-time job for yourself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.